Welcome back. In this video, we'll add a few clouds and some birds. So what we'll do is bring in the, just get that clicked there, bring in the other clouds, and so we're going to place embedded, and there should be clouds for sky, and put that in there. And so the idea here is that we're just going to set these clouds up so they give us a little bit of depth. And so again, of course, this is not quite right here, but what we can do is do that same blending idea. And so this time, I'm going to actually double click here. You can get to the same area, and we're going to remove the darker parts. And so this time, leave the light, which is the cloud. This time I'm going to grab this guy. And again, just with some practice here, I know about 113 or so was the magic number. And you can see the sky just sort of melting away. So whoops, I went a little too far. And then what I'm going to do is do the transition. So again, just let it go and hold the Alt key and split this up. And I think I went to about 185 or so there. And that gave me a good look. Okay. So again, you'd have to play around with these. I mean, I just sort of did this in advance, so I kind of know what looks good. But I've got that there. I'm going to hit OK. Now, I've got the idea here is like to sort of put this into the clouds here. Okay, so I want to get rid of some of this cloud, so I'm going to make sure I put in a layer mask, get my black, and I'm just actually going to get rid of this bottom part. So I'm just going to grab that brush. You can have, I might go for a little bit of a softer edge, but I can go a pretty big one here. And just sort of get this away. Now I'm going to leave some of those clouds on the boat. I'm actually going to bring this boat up high. So they brought the boat ahead. And then I want to sort of get in here and remove some of the, click on the layer mask down for the sky, remove some of these clouds here. So I'm just going to get in there. And because we want this sort of to be ahead. Okay, of the clouds. So I'm just going to get rid of this. Do it over here as well. Probably have to zoom out a little bit. Okay, just a sec. So just keep sort of working at this, removing some clouds as I see fit, and just make sure you're on there. So there. I might actually bring in some clouds again, so I can press X just to go back, put a couple across. You know, some of these guys over here, I'll probably get rid of. And again, depending on your brush there, I might even go for a softer one. 0% hardness, and then we'll change the opacity in a second. Just talk a little bit about that and sort of blend a few of these away. We probably don't need too much here, and then maybe a bit off the top too. Sort of pull a few of them away. Okay, and then it's just sort of a matter of what you think looks good. You can always reduce that opacity. Okay, and then maybe the size a little bit. And create a bit of a look like that. Again, there's not one right look, okay? But then you got some shadows, some looks like the clouds are sort of coming through, and a little bit of depth there. I might actually go back with the X, bring some cloud into there, just sort of to set it off. Okay, up to you what exactly you want to do there, but I think that looks pretty good. Whoops. Sorry, I pressed the wrong one. I was just doing a few little checks. So I hit X there. Bring that. Yeah. You can see what you like. Alright, but it looks pretty cool there. So bringing in the birds is pretty simple here. So again, I've got this layer selected. That will just help us place it right in between there. So I'm going to place embedded and find our birds. And we'll just leave it at that size at the moment. Now, one thing that you should be aware of is that you don't have to go and select these. If you use the blend mode, so just click that OK, change the blend mode to multiply, everything just disappears there, which is pretty cool. Okay, now the size, we can just reduce the size. Of course, whoops, I've got the wrong thing there. Get the birds. You know, we can move it around and then reduce the size. What I'm going to do is just place it so that the birds kind of in between. There we go. Something like that. Okay, and hit that. And so the idea here is that the birds are giving a little bit of sense of depth because they're closer. I'll just move it up a little bit so the bird doesn't look like he's hitting the ground there. There we go. It gives a sense that the birds are closer, the pier is close, that boat is sort of off in the middle distance, and maybe this, sort of mythical structure is out further into the water there. And you're creating a sense of depth in your image. Good. So basically we're done this video. We'll have one more to just introduce a couple more elements, but we're almost done here.